Even if we hope some love stories will never end in a union. You know that very well. There are some love stories where the two never meet and they have never seen each other. However, that love remains in their hearts until they die. It's amazing, isn't it? It was the year 2018. I had just turned 21. I was about to do a diploma after finishing my high school. Ah, I forgot to say my name. I'm Ashini. My father is a teacher. My mother is a housewife. I have a younger brother. He is still going to school. I had received a proposal from the son of my father's best friend. I didn't like him, but my parents insisted that I like him. So what should I do? I had to like him. But I wasn't too close to him. I just talked. But he tried to hang on to me anyway. His name is Kasun. Do you know, since childhood I had a big dream. So I tried hard to make that dream come true. My parents didn't like it. Kasun didn't like it at all. He wanted to marry me as soon as possible. I don't like him at all. Meanwhile, one day I met a friend from Bangladesh talking about him. He is a male, 25 years old. To tell the truth, he is very handsome with the whitest skin. Just like an actor in those movies. Why lie? As soon as I saw him, I fell in love with him. I found him on Facebook. I first told him that I'm a boy. He believed it. But one thing I don't like is lying to others. So after a while, I told him that I'm a girl. I was a little reluctant to talk to him at first because I didn't know how to speak in English those days. But he motivated me. He told me that if you don't speak English with others, how can you practice speaking? So that's true. Then one day I called him, but that day I realized that it's easy to talk to him in English. If I say something wrong, he tells me that, and he tells me to think, and practice speaking. Honestly, everything I was addicted to talking to him aside. I know it was the same for him. We used to talk all day during the holidays. He used to take video calls, but I used to turn off the camera. He always told me that he wants to see me, but I'm very afraid to show my face on social media. That's why I told him that I will never show myself to you. To tell the truth, I really understood that he's a good person. We also talked about personal things. He told me that he is not married. He said that he doesn't have a girlfriend. But I told him that I have brought a proposal from home. One day he asked me to send him a photo to see just once. At that time, I was at a level where I could trust him. That's why I sent him a photo of me, my favorite one. At that time, he was on a call with me. The truth, at that time, he could not even talk to me after seeing my photo. He told me that I was very beautiful. At that time, Kasun and the family knew that I was talking to him. However, they did not say anything because I was speaking to practice English. Although we had never seen each other, I felt that we started to get closer. I forgot to tell his name. His name is Shahir. I really remembered him all day long. No matter what I did, I remembered him. I tried so hard to forget him, but it didn't work. I said to myself, this is something that will never happen. Both of us, we belong to two religions, two races, two countries. That's why we will never get together. But I don't think I heard anything about it. I felt like my chest was on fire all day long. I lived in that fire for those few days. I didn't even have anyone to tell me about it. So I really got depressed because I kept everything in my mind. My family and Kasun saw my change and asked me what happened. But what should I say? Shall I say that I am in love with a boy from Bangladesh? They will think I am crazy. Shahir didn't tell me, and I felt that he has love for me in his heart. The way he talks to me, but for some reason he didn't tell me. Ah, one more thing, he also worked as a lecturer and he said he hopes to go to Canada to work and learn. So I told him to look for a job for me after he went to Canada. He promised me that he would do so. Do you know another thing? Every night he slept listening to my breathing. That means he didn't hang up until the night call. In fact, it's true that we both got addicted to that because we both knew that we could never be close. I was on fire because I couldn't tell him the love I have for him. It was really hard for me to bear. I couldn't even eat. But when I heard his voice, I felt all the sadness in my heart disappear. Do you know what I like about him the most? His smile. His smile can remove all the sadness in my life. And do you know what he told me? He told me that he can forget the pain when I talk to him. He could forget when he was sick and the pain in his heart when I talked to him. I know it's true because I didn't even feel hungry when I talked to him. I told him that I felt a lot of pain in my chest. He told me you have gastritis, so I can't say I love you. That's why I said yes, it must be. That night when we talked, he asked me if you have feelings for me. How can I say that? I said no. We talked for a while without telling our feelings. One day, something sad happened to me. He told me that he has to marry soon. I really couldn't bear it at that time. I cut the call and cried for a while. That day I went to bed without talking to him. He was angry with me for that. He didn't talk to me that well the next day. I couldn't make up my mind for 2 days. I told him after 2 days, tell me the truth, when is your wedding? That's when I came to know Shahir's true truth. He told me that he can't hide this from me anymore. That's why he said he decided to tell me the truth. He told me that he got married a year and a half ago. It wasn't a love marriage, it was a proposal. He also told me that his wife was pregnant. He was very upset when he said it. He couldn't even talk. You can imagine how sad I felt after hearing that, because I had a dream about him. I also had a dream in my mind that I would meet him someday. I forgot to say something else. But this time, Kasun was disliked at home because our father has found that Kasun is not as a good person as we thought. Actually, it was a great relief for me. I told Shahir that I am going away from you. He cried. He told me that he was very unlucky because he didn't get me. That's when Shahir told me that he loves me. He told me that he didn't believe in love until now, and he told me that he loves me more than anyone else. But do you think that I can accept that love when he has a wife and a child? He cried and told me not to leave him, but I told him that I don't want to leave you. We can be friends, we are best friends. But I told him to forget about love. I cried a lot. It was very difficult for me to make my mind. I couldn't make up my mind for months. I had loved Shahir that much. I know it happened the same way to Shahir. Even though he came to talk to me lovingly, I didn't let him because I didn't want to make a mistake to his wife, not even with a single word. I realized that love is a great sadness in those days. Months passed. Shahir and I never stopped talking. We talked like best friends, but my love for him didn't change even a little. I wished him all the best in his life. I understood what love means in those days. Love, it's not the only thing to get the person you love. If he lives happily, I can be happy and look after his happiness. That's love. I thought it was real love. Otherwise, because of my feelings, because of my greed to get him, if I start a relationship with him, it will be a very bad thing in his life and in the life of his innocent wife. It's a big problem. That's why I stayed away from his life and call him as a friend. After few days, I received a call from my dream job. That was a happy day for me. After few months, I went to abroad with my parents and settled there. After 2 or 3 weeks, Shahir left me a message. He told me that he was coming to me. He told me not to ask what happened. I can't even tell you what happened. I got to know about it later from Shahir. I told him to come to me. He was very sad. I planned to go on a tour with Shahir to get rid of his sadness. It will be our first meeting because we have never met each other. We planned to go to Malaysia and stay there for 3 days. You know, that was the happiest day of my life because I got to see Shahir that day. Because the flight was late that day, Shahir had to wait for 2 hours for me. When I left, I saw Shahir with a very wrinkled face. He is really very handsome. As soon as he saw me, he suddenly got up from where he was sitting and sat back like fainted. "You are so beautiful, Ashini," he said that. I have no words to say. He said that all the sadness in my heart disappeared after seeing you. We did not go anywhere that day. We were talking at the hotel. He didn't touch my hand. I will never forget. I told him I will go to my room and we will sleep now. Shahir didn't like it. He said to me, "Please, Ashini, I don't want anything else from you. Hug you tightly and let me sleep." I fell asleep. I felt that my heart, which was burning for him, was extinguished. I said to Shahir, "Shahir, if you have a chance, would you like to be mine?" I forgot to say I had not told Shahir that my and Kasum's marriage has stopped. He thought that there was a big barrier between us, then we could not get together. He said that if he had the chance, he would leave everything and come to me. At that time, I told him that my and Kasum's marriage was over. Actually, at that time, Shahir couldn't even talk because of his happiness. He asked me, "Will you allow me to make your mind? So why talk anymore?" Even though we both went on a tour, we never left the hotel. We stayed close to each other for 3 days. If he is with me, where else can I go? After 3 days, we both had to say goodbye, not for a long time. Shahir came to find me soon. We married soon, and now there are 2 beautiful daughters. Looking back at my past, I realized one thing. It's not good for us to give up our goodness, no matter what the problem is. It's not good for us to do harm to anyone with one thought or one word. And if we love someone, true love means to own that person, not the same. If we are lucky, no one can stop her from being ours. If we can see the person we love living happily and bless him, if we can be happy, then that is the real love. I will tell you the truth. This story did not end like this. Even though both of them love each other, there are many obstacles between them. Shahir and I are still friends who keep that love in our hearts. If you are reading or listening to this story, Shahir, I have to tell you that I will always be there for you. Love. My love for you in my heart will never change even by 1/10. and I wish you the best in your life. I wish you to live happily. I wish you to have a beautiful future, and I will always love your beautiful smile. I can still forget all the pain in my heart when I see that smile. I pray that your smile will never be lost. I will never be able to make that beautiful smile of yours mine, but I am happy because you are happy. I want to tell you, Shahil, I can now sleep without hearing your breath, and I have made up my mind to live without you. I am strong now. Let's always be like this is friends. I will always be your best friend.